Hi guys, welcome to this episode of the Andro Anglers TV. Today we're going to be talking about tips for helping to walk frogs and just have the retrieve a nice presentation. So today I have 5 frogs that have helped me catch giants. I think, yeah, they're all different types of brands. So here's all 5 of them. Okay. So the first frog that I have right here, olive body frog. It's a SPRO. For these frogs, I like to get a white, or as you see here, a silver, a lighter color, or bait fish color for these poppers, because it looks like an actual bait fish when the bait fish are running in the spring and in the fall. They go throughout the water and stuff like that, especially in the open water. I also cut the legs on these things because they are crazily long. You guys see the legs are just as long as the frog is. That's the way that I cut them. It just helps to keep this presentation a little more compact, so that way the fish don't bite at the legs, rip them, tear them out, and miss those hooks. So I try to cut those down. You guys can cut one leg shorter than the other to help it walk a little bit better. It'll give it that sort of edge on one side to push with this leg, and then barely push with that one. It'll make it a really good walker. If you don't know what walking is, I'm going to be making a video on that in the spring, so I'll be able to teach you guys how to do that. But pretty much the bait's head goes side to side in the water, and it makes a really nice presentation. The bass love it, but that's that bait right there. SPRO popper. Next is a Booyah pad crasher. I like this one because the hook's a little bit more up on here. I also bent these hooks up a little bit. That's what you guys can do to your frogs. You just bend the hooks up a little bit, so that way when this barely goes down, that hook's out, as you guys can see right there. But that's another trick that you guys can do with your frogs. Also, this one is another white colored one. I don't have any dark colored frogs right now. I need to get a few. This next frog, the Terminator walking frog. Okay, so I think why this bait walks so well is because the long legs on it, which, yes, I'm going to trim those down. It's going to be the size of the body, so I'm only trimming down about a centimeter or so. But I just like it more compact like that. As you guys can see, those legs are longer than the frog is. And if a fish sees those spread out in the water, they could see this big body of the frog, but they also see all this big part that's all spread out right on top of the water. So they could hit anywhere. They could hit the back of this and just take those legs right off. So I like to keep it more compact. It's like right there. So that way it can just stay closer to that frog. Hopefully make these fish a little bit more accurate. These topwater frogs, they aren't necessarily always for largemouth bass. I mean, smallmouth bass will hit on them. These ones that I have right here are for largemouth. I try to fish a lot more for largemouth bass than smallmouth, but since I live closer to a river with smallmouth and pike, I fish a lot there. So that's that Terminator walking frog. It actually walks very easily. I suggest you guys to buy these. I think it's $7. I'll put the link in the description for all these types of frogs. But that's that Terminator walking frog right there. white stomach, green, black back. Next is a SPRO Frog. I cut these legs really short. I actually found this frog out on the Andro. The legs are very beaten up. I don't know if you guys can see, but they're pretty stained. They're not like a white color. You guys can see right here. That's like a very tan color compared to actual white. The back is white. I actually like this frog a lot. It has a little bit harder of a body, these SPRO frogs do, but if you just wait a few seconds when the fish initially grabs on, you should be able to hook those things really well. The hookup ratio isn't that good. I need to bend the hooks up on this one. It may make it a little less weedless, but it'll give you a lot better hookup ratio. So I cut those legs really short. So that's the SPRO. That's my white-bellied frog. Next is a Lungerhunt frog. This has white and yellow on the bottom, brown on top. I really like this frog because it has the realistic legs on it. When you bring that thing through the water, the resistance of the water hits that foot and pushes that leg back. So it looks like a real frog. Let me see if I can get it here. Looks like a real frog swimming through the water every time you jig it. These things are really hard to walk. I wouldn't suggest walking them. I would just plop them through the water. Makes a really good presentation for these finicky summer bass. Also has a really good hookup ratio, as you guys can see. Unlike some of these other ones, the hook comes up and immediately bends and goes straight out. So that keeps this type of frog weedless. This hook bends at the bottom, curves, and then goes straight up. That gives it the extra edge for getting that big hookup ratio. As you guys can see, when I push this thing down, those hooks come out like crazy. And this is actually the softest. Yeah, this is the softest of the frogs that I have right now. I actually really like Copper's frogs too. They're really pricey, but they have really good details and they work really well. They're pretty much a regular frog, but they're a little bit smaller. They have a lot more detail in them, and they work really, really well. They excel over some of these other frogs, but $11 it's a lot of money for one lure, especially when you're a new angler. But this one was only $8. It's a really nice frog. I like the legs on it and all that. These eyelets on all these frogs, I trust them a lot. They're made out of the same metal as the hook is, I believe. And those hooks, if you guys can trust these hooks that are in here, I think these ones in here are Gamakatsu, and these also are Gamakatsu. But if you guys trust the hooks, then you can trust these eyelets not to rip out or break. But that is this episode of the Andro Anglers TV. I hope you liked this sort of tips and ways to make your frogs go and walk better and get more hookup ratios with them. But thanks for watching this video. I hope you learned something. Please try these techniques for the spring and summer that's going to be coming up. And just have fun when you go out there and frog fish. It's the most exciting method of bass fishing, I think. You pop that thing, you walk it, you stop it. Right when you're about to start again, those bass jump up and destroy it. So thanks for watching this video, and I'll catch you guys on the next Andro Anglers TV.